All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Joshua Silva, and I'm with RegulatedCloud. RegulatedCloud it's me and my brother who are the owners of the business, and we actually work out of a co-working place in town called Splash. So I want to thank Karina. Karina's with Splash, and we have a private office there. Okay, and we are a company in transition. That's basically what this entire presentation is about. Our struggles and some of the issues that we are having as a small business. So a little bit about me. In my spare time, if you ever go to Splash and walk into my office, you'll find me tinkering with some electronics, software, artificial intelligence, and I'm also, when I'm not doing that, I'm also studying for my doctorate in education. I'm a doctoral candidate. Yeah. I'm also an alum from Texas State University, and I received my Master of Science in Accounting and IT from Texas State University, and I love them so much. So a little bit about RegulatedCloud. We do software. We build software solutions for huge companies. Some of the largest companies in the United States. We're subcontractors for these huge companies. A lot of them are in multi-regulated environments, such as healthcare, which is very important in our new endeavors. We are going through this stroke, like it's a very crazy transition that we're going through. And the future, we want to get away from our computer screens and we want to get closer to customers. And so that's one of the things we've always wanted to do. And one of the ideas we had was consumer products. And that's what we're gonna go over. So the reason why, this is actually our transition challenge number 1. It's a new why. Like, why are we doing this? I remember it was just a few years ago, actually, when I saw online where you can upload a picture and to a company and they would convert it into a puzzle. And I thought it was so cool to be able to have this puzzle and you can build it together. And so my idea was to do this with my grandpa, actually. And one of the things was, well, I remember that when it came in and we would build puzzles together, and one day it was getting harder for him to remember. And I remember him, like, just the look of confusion in his eyes where he would just struggle to remember even his own home, and like just to remember his own home, his family, names. And then it was, just the feeling of loss. That's what I remember. And so that's where we started getting the new why, is what are we gonna do to help those who are struggling with memory issues. And so these are some of the memory aids that I've been making. So there's some pendants, there's some little model homes. On the bottom left is actually a 3D printed vertebrae that it's a replica of the one that my mom had printed for her when she had back surgery. So she likes to show her friends, oh, look, this is what the surgeons put in my back, and they had to do all this and blood and la la, and she's like really real animated. And so I actually have some prototypes here so that way y'all can play and feel them. And so there's different non-traditional ways to build these memory aids, and that's the direction I'm going into. All right. So brain health. So did you know that 40% of people over the age of 65 have age-associated memory impairment? So it's a struggle that a lot of people are going to start experiencing in their lives personally if they're not experiencing it through their extended family or friends. So one of the ideas I had while doing research for my doctorate in education was something called neuroplasticity. And so I have some props. And so what we do is we print out these 3D printed pictures, and they have texture. And so when you combine feeling the texture, the contours of the picture, and then you combine that with changing the perception, it actually triggers a memory response. And so people are hopefully able to build new neural pathways to remember things. And so I have some other prototypes here y'all can play with later. And so one of the things we're trying to do is help capture these memories before people begin to lose them. So that way they can re-experience their memories later on in life. Some of our resources, so we have commercial 3D printers. We also work out of a great co-working place, Splash. So we have a private office there. They're also expanding, and hopefully, so we've been expanding with them also. We started at just like the entry-level tier when I first got here, and then we upgraded our subscription, and then now we have this, I think it's almost 200 square feet office space, private office, but it's great to work out of, somewhere not at home, because a lot of us, we work at home, and it's kind of challenging to get some types of work at home. Intangibles, so my brother and I, we both have expertise in generalizable software solutions. And so we're both software developers. We pursued it very differently, actually. So even though we're twin brothers, he's a college dropout, but he's devoted his whole entire life. He's actually one of the premier experts for IT solutions for Amazon. And so, and then we also have endeavors to create a 3D printing farm. So I actually brought one of the 3D printers that y'all can touch and play around and ask questions later on. And then our organizational capabilities, we also have experience managing teams across the US simultaneously, virtually remote. And then we also have expertise, we have working knowledge and expertise with healthcare in insurance on both the provider side and payer side, which is important for this new endeavor where we're building memory aids. But it's really, I would rate our expertise as maybe intermediate, like it's medium. We do need help with that. So transition challenge number 2. So when it came time for the pricing strategy, my thought was, okay, so we're charging these companies a huge amount of, it's very expensive to hire us. And I assumed that we were gonna come in at a lower economical price to reach more people. And that was my original intent. But what I have found was that there's actually people who are actually willing to pay a premium for premium class memory aids. And what I did not know, and one of the things I recently learned, was people really like 3D printed night lights. I was like, I would have never thought of that. So I actually brought some where people like to touch them. They put them in the restroom, and then they like to touch them because they're food safe, they're easy to clean, and they put them like next to the sink, and they can touch them, and then they turn off the lights, and it just pops like when the light shines through them. And so that's one of the things that's our challenge number 2 is like really honing in and working those issues out with the pricing. Challenge number 3 in our business model. So for most of our business, we've been going through subcontracting vendors who represent these huge companies. And now we're transitioning into hopefully the provider side. And so right now our users, the users for our products are gonna be people who need the memory assistance, memory aids. But our actual customer might actually be someone different than the actual user. It's more like the family members and the extended family and friends who see things that our actual users they don't really understand, or they're not ready to accept. And so we're making that transition, and with the healthcare organizations who are able to pay to hopefully add tools and resources for the customers to help slow down the progress of memory loss. And so that's our big challenge number 3 that we're dealing with, that we're working out of. So how can you help? So the reason why we are here, and so the type of help I need is advice. That's simply what it is. Advice on transforming your small businesses. So I'm interested on hearing how the community has transformed their new businesses when they went through a radical change in their mission statement or their vision. And so I'm interested in learning that. The second thing is working with health insurance companies. So even though my brother and I, we do have experience with that, I was a former chief finance officer for a health college, and it's hard. Like the laws change, I think every day, and you never know what the new law is about to, and it's difficult and complex. And so I'm interested in hearing advice on that, what textbooks to read, so both my brother and I, we're into textbooks. We're readers. And the third thing is bundling services. And so I really don't know how to bundle, this is more, I don't do this full time. And so I'm trying to figure out, how do I bundle different types of memory aids, with the night lights and different composite pictures and 3D models. Could I bundle this into a larger package that would really benefit the customer, the user, and then also help generate extra revenues to help with the cost? And so, thank you.